If it switches to another screen, it stops my recording.
Recommend GFCI plugs. Those are the plugs that have the test and reset buttons on them. Typically kitchens and bathrooms. Outlets are recommended that those outlets are protected by GFCIs. Those are something that can be purchased, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, about $16, $18 an outlet. Over here in the corner, over by the Lazy Susan, there were some chipped, cracked tiles. My assumption is you probably dropped a pan coming out of that Lazy Susan. This is the back door on the inside. Despite the note saying it needs to be replaced, my recommendation here was just to improve the weather seal. That being with the door closed, you can obviously still see light coming through, but appears that's going to be taken care of by a replacement. The laundry area, supply lines look good. There are some marks up here on the ceiling. I don't believe those are moisture stains. After I looked further, I think there was probably a 4-foot incandescent light that was installed there at one point in time. And this is more of just age staining. I did put a moisture meter in those areas just to make sure it wasn't wet, and it wasn't. Into the half bath down here on the first floor. Same drill as upstairs. Hot was hot, cold was cold, no leaks or drips on the toilet. Ventilation fan was operational. The sink stopper was inoperable. And the GFCI plug in that bathroom is installed as well.
Okay.
This is your master bath. Same drill, hot was hot, cold was cold. No leaks or drips down below. Toilet was operational, however, is loose. Tub, no leaks or drips. Just showing a little bit of rust around the drain line is all. And ventilation fan was operational. Both sinks, the sink, looking at the double sinks, the sink on the right-hand side, hot and cold were reversed. Where typically hot is on your left side, cold is on your right side. On this particular faucet, those were reversed, the supply lines.
That's on the right-hand side of the sink?
Correct.
Okay.
And then on the left-hand side of the sink stopper is inoperable.
Okay.
And then also back on the right-hand side, the sink stopper itself is missing. You can actually see the hole there, the handle to pull up on the stopper.
Okay.
He's missing. Downstairs into the garage. Garage doors both have the auto reverse sensors that are operational. There are some areas in the garage where ceiling wise you do have some expansion and contraction that's going on with the tape seams for the sheetrock. Pretty common in a garage that gets very, very hot or very, very cold. But again, I did put the moisture meter in those areas as well, and they're dry as well. You do have some areas where I'm just referencing some previous repairs. Not quite sure what went on there or why, but those repairs go around basically the back side of the garage, the lower portion of the garage. You do have some staining that's over here in the back corner on the floor, some moisture staining. This area was all dry today. Didn't see any areas where it was stood out to me. Potentially could have been your floor drain. Maybe that condensation line got clogged up and backed up. I'm not exactly sure, but I certainly don't see any signs of that today. Garage door springs, all 4 of them. There are no safety cables that run through those. You can buy those Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards off the shelf, fairly easy to install. But the idea is when that spring is under pressure, there should be a cable that runs through that spring, so that when and if that spring were to ever break, that safety cable then keeps that in place and doesn't shoot across the room. You do have a vent that's in the garage. While that does help provide some comfort for heating and cooling, it does also provide a path for carbon monoxide to enter the home. So for that reason, vents in the garage are not recommended. Into the furnace area, furnace looks good. He is an 03 is the age on that guy, the unit. Now I say that because the unit, the shell itself is an 03, however things can certainly be replaced inside. But operationally it got good and hot in here. You and I both commented on how fast it got warm. The blower down below certainly looks a whole lot better than I've seen most of them, many of them. There's not a lot of buildup on those fins. Hot water heater is an 2011. That's a 50-gallon unit. And he looked all good. Didn't see any signs of stains, moisture, anything up top. You do have an outlet that's in that area that doesn't have a cover. For safety reasons, certainly recommend all outlets or switches have covers. Into the basement area, the finished area, the bar sink, no leaks or drips. Hot was hot, cold was cold. Recommend some caulking along the back of that area to keep any moisture out of that area. There is no GFCI recommended installed on that plug, on that outlet by the sink. And again, kitchens and bathrooms, wet areas typically is where we would see those. Into that basement bathroom, same drill, hot was hot, cold was cold, sink stopper was operational, no leaks or drips down below. They have installed what's referred to as a flexible drain line. Because of the construction, the thin wall construction of this flexible area, for a longevity perspective, certainly recommend that it be replaced with just solid pipe. Toilet was all operational. There were a few small chips, missing flooring that were noted down there. And then the shower was all operational. Hot was hot, cold was cold, with just a loose floor drain is all. Actually, floor drain cover, I should say. Ventilation fan was operational. In that back room, back behind the bathroom, there is a sump pump pit, but as you can see with the line here, there is no sump pump installed. There was liquid that was in that pit today, so it might not be a bad idea to install a sump pump to get that liquid out of there.
Okay.
Into the breaker box. Breaker box looked good. Didn't see any signs of double taps where there would be two wires going into one breaker. All that looked good. One missing vent cover that was right there at the base of the stairs going down. And that's about it.
That it?
Pretty good stuff, yeah.
Okay. Anything you saw that would make you hesitate to buy this house?
A few of those areas that I would pay closer attention to would be probably roof.
Roof?
Roof looks like it potentially
And
has
have a
some
foundation guy come over?
age. And foundation guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Those would be the big ticket items, but you know, furnace has some age on him. AC's not that old. Water heater's not that old to speak of. You know, all those are used differently, so a lot of people always ask, you know, how long should they last? And I try to stay away from ages only because everybody uses the house differently. But regular service certainly prolongs the life of any of that kind of stuff. So those would be the two biggest areas of concern. That and windows, although the windows are operational, but with some of the moisture that I'm seeing, some of them that don't stay open, that wood rot on the front window.
Okay.
Certainly worth looking at.
Okay. Well, that's that. I'll upload this and send it to you guys.